good. Today's smoothie is good. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Medley, number 234. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. My head feels big. I don't know what's going on. I'm a little off center, guys. I didn't get much sleep last night. I kept having a really weird series of dreams in which I was like getting quizzed, and when I got the question wrong, I woke up. It was weird. I've never experienced anything like that. I woke up like 5 times, and then I ended up not being able to get back to sleep, so I took a walk. And then I came home, and usually to wash my NutriBullet cups, I do a little scrubbing. Well, first I'll put a bunch of soap in and water, and then I'll actually put it in the blender so that it cleans the blades or whatever, it like sanitizes everything. And then I will scrub it, with a sponge, and then I will sanitize it again at the very end, like disinfecting stuff. However, sometimes when there's stains in the cup because things have settled, I will put I'll put baking soda in it. Like if you have ceramic pots and pans at home, guys, and you want to get stains out of them, a really good and easy way to do that is to use baking soda. You have baking soda on it and let it sit for a little while, then come in and scrub it. It'll remove everything. Super easy stuff. But I had forgotten that I had left some baking soda in it before I put in the soap and water and put it on the blender. And guys, pretty elementary level science, the cup exploded. Don't put baking soda in an airtight container with water and soap and shake it up. Anyways, so now I only have one NutriBullet cup where I used to have two. So that exploded. And then I spent time cleaning that up and made a smoothie, and now I'm here. So sorry about the delay, guys. I know I was at the very least 5 minutes behind schedule, but I had baking soda and soap all over me, and I was trying to clean my NutriBullet motor to make sure that that wouldn't break. It's been a weird, hectic, sleep-deprived morning, but good morning, everybody. I hope that you're doing okay. It is Thursday, so this one will be about 2.5 hours, roughly. Hello, Ava. Hello, Josh. Hello, Isidora. Hello, Eddie. Wow, Eddie. I just watched the new Gorillaz music video. It's amazing. Good review, Eddie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm glad that you saw it. Welcome and good morning. Good morning, Josh and Crush. Welcome back to you as well. You're early today. You're earlier on time. Earlier than I was, I suppose. I once put a bowl of spaghetti and a fork in the microwave and blew the whole... Oh. I've definitely put silverware in the microwave before. When I was a kid, I did it on purpose a few times. Apologies to my parents' microwave. Whatever happened to that microwave? We used to have a microwave that had a rotary dial. It wasn't like buttons, like you would turn the thing and it would... Whatever. Anyways, pretty sure it's broken now. Pop-Tarts in the foil is it for me. Microwave Pop-Tart. No one said anything about the foil, says Jesse. Word. Halloween is around the corner, says Isidora. I'm excited. My favorite moment of the year. This Halloween is going to be a little weird. 2020, Isidora, but I'm glad you like Halloween. I'm glad you're getting it, finally. Okay, I guess I'm going to go ahead and start the medley. How was everybody's Wednesday? Did anybody do anything cool? I'm a little bit ashamed at what I did all day, but did anybody else do anything nice? Would you say you improved in the past month in music, says Josh? I would say that I'm always steadily improving in something, because music is pretty broad, right? Um, Improving in music could mean improving in dexterity of your fingers. It could mean improving in learning a new chord. Um, in this past month, I did make an entire 4 new songs, 2 of which used a technique that I hadn't used before. So yeah, I would say that I improved in music a little bit every day. Jesse says this Gorilla song is featuring Elton John and and Black. That's kind of cool. God, they always get the strangest features. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. You know, I wouldn't be playing Genshin Impact if one if it weren't free. Also, the battle system is surprisingly good. I I don't hate this shirt. I don't hate this shirt. Hey, what's up, Theo? How you been? music project and they are making questionable creative decisions, do you tell them it's not sounding good? Hmm. It's actually a really good question, Diz, right? Artistic integrity over protecting somebody's feelings or your own desires. Here's what I'm gonna say, Diz. It's not a simple answer, but I hope that it'll suffice. I think when I work with friends, I'm not simply just working with friends on a music project. I have a lot of friends who make music, right? As you can imagine, just about all of my friends are to some degree or capacity musicians. I don't work with all of them. And that's because I don't work with people just because they're my friends. I work with people who I have a lot of trust for artistically. For example, if I make a song with Mia Gladstone, I've never particularly heard anything by Mia Gladstone that I thought was bad music or particularly unenjoyable to me. So when I work with Mia Gladstone, I have a lot of trust and faith that Mia Gladstone is going to bring the same talent I've seen in all of her past works to whatever we're working on. Same thing goes for Ehio Robo or Fuge or Abby Press or Azuria Sky or any of my other like frequent collaborators. Now there are some friends that I have whose music I can be honest and say I don't particularly care for too much. And I'm probably not going to work with those people just because I feel like artistically we're in two different lanes. Now, when it comes to working with somebody on a project and then making what you refer to as questionable creative decisions, I think I just have a lot of trust for the person I'm working with, even if it seems. Because I'll be honest, there's been times when I've worked with an artist and thought, oh, I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have put that there, or I've seen an artist move something around in a way where I was like, it feels a little weird, but it always ends up working out in the end. And I think that's more of a testament to their prowess as a creative. Um, but this can happen, Diz, and the rest of the people in the stream. If you're working with friends a lot of the time, sometimes you will, come into an artistic compromise with them. Um, but I would urge everybody to learn compromise as early as they can, especially artistically. If you're going to be working on something that's collaborative, it can't be all you and all or all the other person. There's definitely going to be some things in a track where maybe you think it should be 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, and the other person wants to completely cut out the outro altogether and make it, I don't know, 2 minutes 50 seconds. I think that sometimes compromise is necessary in order to make that's the whole point of collaboration. Usually if you take any collaborators, whether it's 2 of you or 5 of you or 200 of you or 5,000 of you, there's going to be somebody on the team that goes, yeah, I wasn't really in love with that decision, but it's a team effort. I wasn't in charge of everything, so I kind of just had to let it fly. And now everybody likes this finished product, even though I personally wouldn't have had these things in this order, or this thing this loud, or this thing this long. I actually think about that a lot when it comes to movies, right? Diz? With the exception of very few indie films, most movies are a huge collaboration. And when you're working with a lot of artists, a lot of creative minds, somebody's going to write the music for the movie this way, and somebody's going to do the wardrobe for the movie this way, and an actor's going to portray these emotions this way, and a director's going to shoot this shot this way, and people are going to light these scenes a specific way. And it's going to all come together to create a movie that you and I will see and go, wow, what a great piece of film. I love Star Wars. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Free Willy. But there's going to be somebody on that team that thinks, I really don't like that we went with this song here. It doesn't feel right to me, but the person that was in charge of it chose that, and that's what made this movie what it is today. I think that a lot of times in collaborations, compromise is just kind of part of the job. And if you think that your friend on a music project is making questionable creative decisions, that's actually normal. They're a different person than you. you should find other people's choices and actions questionable at all times, you know, because they're not your own. However, if you think that it's just not sounding good, um, it's on you whether you want to voice that to them or not. But you also just have to remember, like maybe you're also doing things Diz that don't sound good to them. Um, Collaboration, the point of it is to mix your personal artistic vision with an artistic vision that is not your own, and the outcome can sometimes be really cool and enjoyable. I can honestly say that one slash million, not on my watch, cold, swerve and protect, embrace, Daiso, waiting. All of these songs that I've made would sound very, very different if I didn't have the collaborator on it that I was working with. Very different. Would they have sounded better to me? Honestly, maybe actually, right? If I didn't work with Ehi on one slash million, right, and instead of Ehi, I put my own vocals on it, would it have sounded better to me? Maybe. Who knows? It's very hypothetical, but I love one slash million for what it is. And a lot of those collaborations, if I'm being fair, is not only just collaborations, all of my works, but I'm going to focus on collaborations for this question. A lot of my collaborations I've actually learned or I've grown to like even more and appreciate more over time because I'm no longer so close to it, so close to all those compromises, so close to and married to my own creative vision for what the song should or shouldn't be. I think that getting some distance away from it and also seeing other people react to it has been huge for me. Although, Diz, it would be unfair to you if I only shared with you, you know, the success side of that. There have been times where, like you or anybody else, I haven't maybe had the luxury to only work with talented people. And maybe I did work with my friends. Maybe I was in a band with my friends at some point in time. Maybe I did have one of my friends rap on one of my little FL Studio 4 beats. Um, and I didn't like what they did, and other people might not like the project. And when they come to me, I go, well, I didn't have anything to do with those decisions. You know, that had nothing to do with me. There's been times. You want to know real stuff? This? Oh wait, this is that's true. You need to jump the gun. Yeah, and criticize X and potentially come across in a bad favor, especially when X turns out to be one of the best parts of the song. This is so true, Diz. You're showing a lot of foresight right now. Um, Cyber, I am on like zero sleep right now, and I blew up a NutriBullet cup, and I started the stream a little bit later than I should have, and there's a typo in it. It's been a pretty hectic morning, but welcome, Cyber. I hope you're doing well. Back to what I was saying, Diz, with the collaboration thing. I used to be in a duo called Two Tone Disco, and I wrote the music there, but there was a lot of decisions in that duo, theming, aesthetic, and stuff like that that I actually had nothing to do with, and I also did not like. I didn't particularly think it looked good, or I didn't think these things felt good. I didn't think playing this show would be good. I didn't, you know, there was a lot of decisions that weren't mine, and I disagreed with. And when people came to me, a member of this group, and said, "Why did you go with this thing? I don't understand why that." And it was a choice that I also didn't like and I didn't make. I would, maybe this is a bad thing, but I would come out and say, "Hey, I don't like that either. I had nothing to do with that actually. That was somebody else's decision." And so I definitely can empathize with both sides. Is sometimes it does come out being great, and sometimes you're just making you're making music or you're making art or you're working alongside somebody or something that does not align with your vision or your desires or your interests. And it can be pretty hard because you feel like you're being misrepresented sometimes. So I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it, Diz, and say that every time a friend of yours or something like that makes a poor decision in a song, it's just going to come out great and that you shouldn't say anything about it. But I will say that I've particularly worked myself into a position where that very rarely happens to me anymore. I'm sure you've been in the stream days when somebody in the stream was like, "Oh, Omni, I would..." Wait, hold on. That's beautiful. No, no. anyways, what was I saying? Blah, 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 collaborations. There's been times where they've been bad. Oh yeah, like I've worked myself in a position where I only work with people that I know I can trust, and so I'm sure you've been in the stream biz when somebody has come into the stream and said, "Omni, I'd really love to work with you. Like, you should let me sing on a track, or like, I'm gonna throw you some stuff. We should work together." And the reason that I usually kind of am like a little standoffish when it comes to conversations like that is not because I don't want to work with anybody, or not because I think I'm better than anybody or anything like that. It's just I don't want to get into a situation working with somebody where I'm feeling the way you say you're feeling right now. And that's why you'll see me work with the same people more than once. That's why you'll see me usually have like reoccurring collaborators, because there's like a level of trust that's built up. Like, I trust these people's artistic vision. I trust these people's artistic capabilities, their prowess, their skill level. I trust that they'll be able to meet me halfway every single time, and I can kind of go like, hey, you worry about drum programming, you write vocal melodies to this, and then when we meet up on Tuesday, to discuss vocal melodies, it's not even like, it's not a review. It's not like, oh, okay, Omni, so I have this vocal melody. How does this feel? It's like, okay, Omni, here's the vocal melody I wrote, and then I listen to it and I go, cool, great. And the same way that they can go, hey, Omni, I'm gonna leave you with at the keyboard for a while. Come up with like a jazzy chord progression for me, or can you like come up with some like string arrangements for me to sing on top of? I come up with the string arrangements and I deliver, and they sing on it because like they knew I was gonna deliver in that way. And I feel like if somebody just came into a stream, or somebody walked to me at the street, or somebody came to a show and said, hey, I graduated from NYU School of Music. I really want to work on something with you, man. And then I don't know this person's discography. I don't know their backstory. I don't know them as a person. We have no relationship. Getting into a collaboration artistically with somebody that you have no real chemistry with or trust for is not a good habit. I would advise against that. It makes music or art, whatever you're working on, it makes it a lot harder than it needs to be. Hmm. You know what's funny? I'll say this and then I'll move on. I promise, because I feel like I've answered this question. But I've never collaborated with somebody that I met on social media really that wanted to collaborate with me. The first person that I did that with, and the last person, was Mia Gladstone. And Mia Gladstone used to come into Instagram, my Instagram streams for a little while. And the funny thing was, Mia never asked to make a song with me. Mia would just come into Instagram streams, and every now and then I would go to people's pages that would come into the Instagram streams, and I went to her page and I was like, oh, she makes music, and I was listening to the music and I was like, oh my god, this is all good, and I was just like scrolling forever and I couldn't find a bad video or a bad song. And then like a full calendar year later, we ended up making music together. But I don't know, man. Very organic, I suppose. Um, to be on the white keys. This says you want to make sure you aren't presenting yourself as a stepping stool for someone to use your name off of. So be careful with that. Being careful with that makes sense. Sure, 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 sure. Sure, sure, sure. Yeah. I think people look at collaborating in a different way that I look at collaborating. No, they don't. No, they don't. Yes, they do. I look at collaborating as a very intimate experience. I look at collaborating as like making out with somebody. Or I look at it in the way that like a normie would look at it as like making out with somebody. And that like I know people make out for no reason. I know if you go to like Coachella, there's gonna be two random people in the crowd that feel the music and then start making out, and that's like really cool, I guess. But I mean, I'm not letting any like random stranger's mouth touch me, or at least not consensually. I'm not. And so, um, I feel the same way about collaborating musically. It's like this very intimate thing that you don't just do with anybody just because they know how to make music. I don't make music with people just because they can. I make music with people because I feel like we're in the same, like, I feel like there's a, me and Ehi have a very similar, like, musical zone we live in. Me and Fuchs have a similar zone. Me and Mia, me and Abby have a similar zone. And it doesn't mean we make the same type of music. It's just like I feel in the same. It's chemistry, you know. You can have chemistry with other artists. An artist that I have zero chemistry with, that I'm actually friends with, is I would say Sean. I have zero chemistry artistically with Sean, and so there was a brief period of time where everybody was constantly asking for like a me and Sean song. They wanted me to make a song with them. Although it would have sounded cool, I imagine. I think the actual process of making it wouldn't have been good for either of us. It wouldn't have felt good. And so it just didn't happen. Yeah, you know. Hey, what's up, Crow? Crow is saying Smash Bros. Is now a joke. I don't know. I don't know why you think that's happening now, Crow. I don't know why you think that Smash Bros. Is a joke now. Smash Bros. From its inception was a joke. But I'm not going to talk about Smash in this stream. I'm going to continue the morning medley. I have to move this down or up. I have to move it down or up. I can do it there. No. That's wild. I just sold my coffee yesterday. Oh man. Smash is kind of dead now, says Ava. I'm biased as a Kirby Peach main though. What do you mean a joke though? The game was never serious. That's what I mean, Ava. Yeah, Smash is always a joke. Can anybody look at Smash and go, this game is not a joke? This game is serious. Look, now I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but now Ava pulled me back in. It's a joke. It's a that game. There's only so many ways I can say that that game is a joke, and does that mean I'm saying that the game is bad? No, but come on now, the game is a joke. I will say the block building ability will be game breaking, says Ava. I'm sure they'll find some way to nerf it like they do with anything else that's game breaking. Jokes can be good. Yes, Eddie. Jokes can be very good. Smash is a very good example of a very good joke. It's a very fun game. It's like a dream game. You know, it's like a game that somebody would dream up and go, well, there's no way that'll ever exist, and it's real. It's a joke, but I don't know that I suddenly think it's a joke because a Minecraft character is in it. I mean, we'd have to go back quite a few characters if we're gonna set a mark when it became a joke. Cloud and Bayonetta were also banned when they were first released, though, says Ava. I hate that they split up this sheet. This sheet Zelda. Oh my goodness! So we're really just getting deep into Smash takes now. I hate 2020, says Eddie. I'm trying to move this. Trying to move that. Trying to move that. Trying to move that real bad. And that's wrong. No. Actually, yeah. Whoa, what the heck? I'm silly. I'm silly right now. Let me go back to piano. Got me feeling weird. And then we go. I'll take it. I'll take it. Doesn't sound as fun in that key, whatever key that is. Hey, what's up, Dar? That does not flow with my fingers. Sorry, guys. Feels wrong. Oh, it is wrong. Wait, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Really? Oh. Sorry, guys. No. No. This shirt does this thing. It's so annoying. This shirt does this thing. The head hole is too big. That's the problem. It sags in the back and it has a tag, and it just always feels like there's like bugs crawling on me. Wow, why isn't Cubert in the game? Actually, it is. That never occurred to me. Cubert should have been in this game a long time ago. That's a weird, yeah, that's a weird chord. notes more often. Wow, that really opens up a lot of chords. I keep talking in all the streams this week. I feel like in every stream this week, Monday through today, I've talked about playing chord progressions or notes or whatever that are very easy to play with the white keys. You know. And I've talked about expanding those by not expanding those by, but expanding my own chord vocabulary by trying to play those in other places, on the piano. Somebody I know who went to NYU School of Music talked about how he didn't like that in music school they would have them practice playing in all keys, but this was very important. It was very necessary because if you show up at a wedding or whatever and somebody's like, we're going to do the wedding march, but we're going to do it in the key of G, or I don't know. Just saying words now at this point, but they say we're going to do it in the key of G. It's important for you to be able to very quickly transpose a song to another key because you know the chord numbers and you've basically been able to play. You've played chords in every key, so you kind of have a wider expanse of that. Now, for me, since I don't play music by other people, I only play music I know. For me to be able to do that, hello, Cass Martin, and welcome back to the stream, by the way. But for me to be able to do that, it means that I would have to write music in every key. Because the only reason I know how to play even the white keys is because I wrote a song that happened in the white keys. And the only reason I know how to play in this key is because I have, Key Lime, and I have Catching Up, and I have all these songs that exist in that key. And the only reason I can play in that weird key that, whatever key Witchy is because I wrote a song in it. So for me to be able to get better at playing in other keys, my approach has been, write a song in that key. And since it's hard to write a song in keys when I don't even know the names of keys, what I'll do is I'll write a song in a key or in a way that I'm more comfortable playing it, and then I'll simply shift it up or down. This song I was more comfortable playing on the white keys, so I just shifted it down once to include more of the black keys. Same thing happened. What's the name of that Witchy song? I call it the Witchy song. But then in this song, also in double Lutz, I play in that key a lot because I have like that song. I also have this song. I also have Hush Hour. That also happens in that key. I also have this song. Also in the same key, I also have this song. I have a lot of songs in that key, so playing those chords has become, over time, very, very easy and natural to me. Hey, what's up, Jeff Lee? Good morning and welcome. We didn't do keyboard 234 quite yet. But yeah, it makes it a little bit easier for me to play those keys because I've had a whole song written in them, and every time I hop on here for the morning medley, I'm kind of subconsciously internalizing a lot of those chords through muscle memory because I'm playing my songs that incorporate those chords. If you only play songs that incorporate 5 chords, it's going to be very hard for you to play anything that doesn't use those 5 chords. The second you have to use another chord, it's going to feel unnatural and strange. In the same way that this chord feels unnatural and strange to me, going from here. That one there feels weird. Just the formation of it feels strange. But this chord is no different than this chord, which feels very natural to me, and that's because it's in a lot of my songs. Right there. So, moving your own songs around, if you're somebody that, again, does not play covers, doesn't play other people's music, and you only play your own stuff, moving your own songs around the keyboard can sometimes familiarize you with some chords or melodies or notes that you wouldn't actually normally hit. Um, enjoy your lunch, Ava. It requires you to hit some notes that you wouldn't usually hit. So lately in the stream, every single time I write a new song, which is pretty often, or at least just a new idea, I'll try to shift it someplace else that I normally don't play in. Again, the example of shifting this to here, or shifting double X up to here. Um, and then this song that started off here. All white keys. Switch them to all black keys. Shifting things around makes you play chords that you wouldn't normally play. And so, yeah, now when I come up with an idea, I try to immediately shift it because I have so many songs, guys, that live in these chords. Those 4 chords is like so many of my songs. It's Reflection Pool. It's Beneath the City. It's whatever this song is. It's Winter Heart. It's Signals. So many of my songs contain those 4 chords. And so moving around has proven pretty useful, if not very difficult. It's challenging for sure. Yeah, see, I'm already messing up. That's very hard for me to play. I'm getting better at it, but it's very hard for me to play. And so even this song, the song that I've been playing for a while in this stream, this one. Trying to decide whether I want to move that to a different place in the piano, because those are chords that I have used quite a bit. that song's coming together gradually. Anyone ever play Dead by Daylight? I used to play Dead by Daylight at least 5 hours a day in 2019. I played that game a lot. A lot I played that game. And I got very good at it. And then Apex Legends came out, and I stopped playing it. And then I tried to play it again after like a 8-month break, and I wasn't very good anymore. Either I wasn't very good, or the killers got buffed all the heck. I used to play Survivor only. I've never played Killer. Ooh wee, ooh Um, but yeah, interesting question, Diz. Yeah, if you're in the stream, please remember to like the stream. It does help. If you could like the YouTube video, helps me more than you know. we'll start from the top. Yeah, it's a typo, Erwin. It's so hard. Wow, that like my brain can't keep up with it. Okay. Crap. Oh, I figured it out. That's how. Oh, okay. Apologies, everybody. I figured it out. Took a minute. But I made it. This is your list of third person ask. There was a long period of time where I didn't play. I learned about, oh. There was a long period of time where I didn't play or learn about any games that were out. So they'll all seem like new releases to me. Hmm. Wait, did you do this intentionally, Diz, just so that they could seem like new releases? Or were you just busy with life and then you came back and all of a sudden there was games? There was games afoot. Finally. I just quit video games. It wasn't like that. Really regretting selling my GameCube and collection of games right now. Word. I never had such a thing. I would say that I regret not taking better care of my consoles. I wish that I took better care of my Dreamcast. I mean, I wish that I took better care of my Nintendo 64, you know? Particularly the Dreamcast. It's like I had a Dreamcast. I had two controllers for the Dreamcast. I had mad games for the Dreamcast, but I didn't realize, you know, I was a kid. I didn't know. I didn't know how weird things were for Sega at the time. If I knew how weird things were, I would have, one, taken way better care of my Dreamcast, and two, taken way better care of those games. I mean, first and foremost, screw jewel cases. Like, we all hate those. Like, it was a horrible delivery method for video games, but a lot of, if not every single one of my jewel cases have like mad cracks in them. They're like shattered. Like my Shenmue case like has a big crack across the front of it. My Crazy Taxi case is literally in shambles. I had to just put Crazy Taxi in like one of those CD books that people carry around because the case just was demolished, you know. Ooh, I'm so close. 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 to get that. I've just been trying to get that chord progression down, guys, because I don't trust myself to remember it. Um, because basically, what happens on the Thursday stream is this one thing always happens. I will always get an idea for a new song, and then the Friday stream is a 6 hour long production stream, so I don't sit over here and play out anything. So for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I don't really do. So Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I don't really do a lot of improv. And then by the time Monday rolls around again, I have forgotten whatever that thing was. So I was just trying to get that chord progression, which I am going to play one more time probably before I get to the news. Get to the news portion of the stream, everybody. Who in the stream knows what Plunderphonics is? I think 78's Downtown and Love Letters have like a real, like, I didn't see it until just now. I thought that they were similar because they both move chords around, like the same chord, but they have a little bit more similarities than I thought earlier. At first last night, I was trying to create music and I got so frustrated because no ideas could come to me. Not gonna lie, I feel like it'll be the same thing today, says Erwin. Erwin, what does making music look like to you? What is your approach to making music? What does it look like? Is it you sitting down with a pen and paper? Is it you sitting down at a piano, a keyboard, a laptop, a desktop? Are you in your room? Are you in a studio? Are you in a park? Are you in a coffee shop? What does Irwin making music look like? I usually go to my DAW and mess around with my keyboard until an idea pops. Hmm. So down at the DAW, mess around with my keyboard until an idea pops. Where is this? Is this in your bedroom, Erwin? It's in your bedroom. Okay. Is it on the laptop, Erwin? Have you ever thought about? Have you ever thought about throwing on some headphones and taking the show down the road, taking the show on the road? Maybe getting a pair of headphones and I don't know, going anywhere. I know you can't go in a lot of places. I don't know exactly where you live. I'm assuming you don't live in Florida, Erwin. So maybe you can't go in any place, but maybe just going out, maybe to a park. I don't know. Maybe this is completely outside of your comfort zone, but is that something you'd be open to trying? Switching up the environment? Never tried it. Usually public places make me feel a little nervous, especially when it's crowded. Well, a lot of places aren't crowded right now. Again, I don't know where you live. But you don't have to go to a park. You don't have to go to the top of a mountain or anything. You don't, good morning, Sky. You don't have to go to the top of a mountain or anything. But what I would say, Erwin, is change something. Why not, right? Maybe even if it's in your own backyard or on your stoop. Again, I don't know what your living situation is like. Erwin, there have been times where I would work on music sitting on the steps in front of my apartment. I haven't done it in a while, you know. I haven't really done it a lot in a while, but that's something I used to do, and it did change something. I'm not saying I sat on the steps and then all of a sudden, oh, whoa, like I had an epiphany and then wrote, like a 20-minute song, but I will say keeping things fresh, which can be very difficult in this Groundhog Day nightmare scape that we're all stuck in, can be important. Keeping things fresh, changing things around again, switching things up. You say that you did work on music or tried to yesterday and nothing came to you. And I would say that there are so many ways that this could be not necessarily remedied, but helped for sure, aided. I know that for me personally, when I was in a slump, working on a remix did a lot. I mean, I just got commissioned for this remix, and Irwin, I hope that you're still coming into the streams when I get to do the production breakdown on that one in a couple of months, because there's a lot going on in this remix that I made, and I had so much fun with it, and I think I was able to have a lot of fun with it because a bit of the work had already been done for me. The vocal melody had already been done for me. The length of the track had already been done for me. The key and everything had already been chosen for me. So, um, yeah, that can help. Um, Also, a thing that can help, Erwin, is not necessarily. I know you've been in the Friday streams before, Erwin. Yes, you've been in the Friday streams. I don't necessarily approach song making all the time by saying I'm going to make a song today. There's been a lot of times in a lot of those streams when instead my approach has been, okay, well, I really want to sample one of my songs, and I will go in and I will sample one of my songs. I'll slow it down, I'll reverse it, I'll chop it up, or I'll speed it up, or whatever. I will make a sample out of one of my songs. And then once I have a sample that sounds really cool, sometimes I'll sit around and I'll waste a good 5 minutes trying to like make a song out of it until I have to just kind of stand back and go, you know what, not now. And then I'll open up a new project and open up a new project. Erwin, a good trick that doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but one that has worked for me, so I'm going to impart it to you, is that if you've been in the Friday streams, you'll notice I work on roughly 10 or so tracks at once. I'll usually work on a song until it's been. I used to actually have a timer. Once I used to have I gotta stop playing that chord progression. But I used to have a timer that I would give myself where when I started feeling stumped, where I was just like, dang, what should I put to this song? I would start a timer at 15 minutes. And if 15 minutes had gone by and I still hadn't added anything significant, I hadn't had a breakthrough on that song, I would save that song and I would open up a completely new project and I would start building drums. Even if the drums, Erwin, sound very rote and very derivative, they sound like all my drums, I would just start building a new thing and messing around with chords. And I'm like, okay, well I would get as far as I can in that song before I reach that kind of 15-minute stump window where I can't figure out anything else to add, and then I would start a new track, and I would kind of keep doing that for maybe 5 to 10 tracks over the course of like a few hours. And then once I feel like I had gotten enough, or I'd gone as far as I could, I would start going back and revisiting the old ones, the earlier ones that I got stumped on, and see, is there anything new cooking for those? I would start the 15-minute timer and see if there's anything new that I have on that song. And once it got to the point where I had expended like an hour or something like that without making any progress on these songs, then I would just consider myself done for the day. And then I would come back the next day, come back the next day. Sometimes those songs don't go anywhere. Sometimes you end up pouring weeks into those songs and they still don't sound good. But out of those projects, I would say that it yields more finished work, more inspired work when I have a lot than if I'm trying to pour all of my efforts and time and skill and prowess into one song idea. Just trying to get one song idea to stick, to sound good, to pop. And so that has helped me. That has helped me for sure in the past quite a bit. And that is exactly the technique that I use now for the Friday streams. Because as you know, the Friday stream is 6 hours long, and there has not been a Friday stream yet where I've spent all 6 hours on one track. Usually I'll work on anywhere from like 4 to 6 tracks in a Friday stream. And if I get to a point where I'm stumped, it's easy to feel, Erwin, like those windows of being stumped, whether it's 15 minutes. I've shortened that, by the way, now, where now it's 5 minutes. If I go 5 minutes without making any significant change or progress or addition to a song, I'll jump to another song. And for somebody watching, it could be very difficult to follow because it does seem like I'm just jumping around a lot. But I'm just trying to not allow myself to stagnate. It helps me. It's good for me. And again, everybody is different. Everybody has their workflow. Um, Everybody has their workflow, but I think um, trying new things could be helpful for you, Erwin. Um, uh, word up, Cyber. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that's underwhelming. 234 is a ukulele. Ew. Well, hold on. I don't like the ukulele all the time, especially solo, but I like this fake one because it doesn't sound like a ukulele, especially down here, outside of the ukulele's range. Hello, Sokana. Welcome. IZ, baby. I know who that is. Sokana, I know who that is. Rest in peace. I think when expect them to do anything groundbreaking with it, says Diz, talking about the Mario game. I think it's a Mario game anyway. But did that help at all, Erwin? Anything that I said? I hope any of it helped. Yeah, just try to switch and change things up a little bit. I know saying switch things up or keep things fresh sounds very vague. You can do that in very big ways. You can do it in very small ways. But um, overall ideology I try to have when working on music, Erwin, is to try to divorce myself from the idea of coming away empty-handed. You know, like it. I try not to get too fixated on the idea that like I am making a song or I need to make a song. When I open up FL Studio, when I open up my DAW, I try to go like I need to do something interesting, or at least that's like somewhat interesting. Make a weird noise, incorporate a new sound, make a new lead patch. There's a lot of different approaches to making music. Sometimes I open up Fruity Loops, honestly, Erwin, and all I do is make drum racks. That's a more recent thing that I've started doing, but I will make drum racks. Like I'll just load a bunch of drum samples into a drum rack. I mean, every DAW has their own version of a drum rack. Load into a drum rack and mix them all so it kind of they sound good together. That way later when it's time to make a song, I kind of just have these drums I can load in. That's a very new thing that I've started doing. And it's something that I do. It's one of the only things I can do while I'm subconsciously engaging in other media. Like I can build drum racks sometimes while I'm actually listening to music, but I choose to listen to podcasts instead. I'll listen to like a comedy podcast or a movie review podcast, and then I'll just like get to work doing drum programming. You know, going into the sampler and like messing with like transients of like kicks and stuff like that, so I can try to build something. But that's a huge thing for me right now. Mario game is gonna be Mario game, says Diz. Sounds about right. Erwin says, going outside my apartment sounds so weird. Like I feel like a stranger in the neighborhood and never have talked to any of my neighbors, says Erwin. Erwin, I think not talking to, hold on, pause that, Erwin. Cyber says, do you listen to Howard Stern at all? I do not. I can remember back when, like, Sirius FM or something like that was like a big new thing, and Howard Stern was on it. And so when I would get in like my friends' cars and my friends' dads' cars, they would be listening to Howard Stern, and I think I liked Howard Stern. Like he would say stuff and think things that were like, oh yeah, this is cool. I think I liked him, but I don't like follow him at all. I don't really know. I don't really know much about Howard Stern outside of his like prolific. Uh, I guess I'm trying not to use the word legend, but like his prolific history as a like a radio personality and podcaster. Like he is. I don't know if there's anybody he hasn't interviewed. I would say that Mark Maron is necessarily my. If any, my Mark Maron. I mean, sorry. Whoa. My Howard Stern is Mark Maron. Like to me, Mark Maron is like this like older funny guy who just seems to interview everybody and is like pretty good podcaster. I feel like Howard Stern was Mark Maron first and as a different type. Please forgive me, anybody in the stream who does not like that comparison. Even I myself don't like it, and I'm the one doing it. He's funny and controversial, but the edginess doesn't hit as hard as it used to seem like it did, says Diz. I agree. Howard Stern was pretty edgelord-y pretty early on. That wasn't particularly the appeal to me. He did do some he did do some things like on air that were just kind of like, well, this feels like counterculture for the sake of counterculture. But that's fine. I respect Howard Stern for his craft and his consistency. Unpausing my answer to Erwin saying that they never talk to their neighbors. Honestly, Erwin, before I moved into my current neighborhood, I was kind of the same way. I have a very, very close relationship with my neighbors now, but I didn't used to before I lived here, so I feel you on that. I feel you on that. A community can have a lot to do with how you engage with your outside world, your immediate outside world, and whether you want to go out into it or not. I'm just saying that when it comes to making music, I am like the poster child, Erwin, for being uninspired. I'm constantly uninspired and need to go get inspiration from things. And I can't get inspiration from listening to music. I need to go and live. And particularly in 2020, that inspiration has been very hard to find. So you trying to sit down and make music and it coming up short repeatedly, don't let that be discouraging. I'm sure you're fine. You're a music being, so I'm sure you're not deterred or discouraged at all by the couple of days of that. But oh boy, Erwin, every Friday stream hasn't been great, even before the connection issues. I'm not always turning over like gold bops. Gold bops? I'm not always turning over gold bops in the Friday stream. I just have practiced a technique when doing production that keeps me active and keeps me creating. Right? The only difference between me and thee is that I've like boot camped myself into being able to write music regularly. But I get stumped just like everybody else does. But I'm just saying with these streams, Erwin, and especially with the Friday 6-hour stream, it has forced me to be a little bit more like efficient and aggressive about music making. Where like I open up something and I have to go at it, and I know pretty quickly early on whether or not it's going to be worth my time or not, and then I'll give up. Wow, I'll move on. But I hope you and your music writing exploits go a little bit better today. I hope they're better today, for your sake. Wow. Well, we're only at 140. This is pretty cool. Should I end early? Is there anything anybody wants? a kalimba sound? There is a kalimba sound. I think it's like 183 or something. No, that's a vibraphone. 185 marimba, 187 marimba, 188 balimba, 189 log drum, 190 xylophone, 191 tubular bells, dulcimer, dulcimer 2, drawboard organ, D-tune organ. Oh, I must have passed it. It must have been before the vibraphone. Ogle, music box, glockenspiel, celesta bell, clavy, harpsichord. Oh. That's weird. Should have a kalimba in here. Ugh, glockenspiels. You've never let me down. This keyboard's good. I'm gonna start using this in the production streams. I just don't like how far off camera I'm gonna be, but that is... That's so cool. Oh, somebody remind me to do that for tomorrow's song. Oh, that's got to be one of the Plunderphonics tracks. Oh, I was looking for a kalimba. I'll find the... No, I'll find it. Hold on. Remember, that's sound 188. Dulcimer, blah, blah, organs. I mean, now we're in organs. Maybe it doesn't have a kalimba, guys. Yeah, I think it might not have one. That's sad, isn't it? Oh, I'm spoiling myself on a lot of these sounds that I haven't gotten to yet. Spoilers, I'm over it. Okay, I feel the same says what kind of life experiences help so much when creating something. Yeah. Yes. We all have become more desensitized, says Diz. I agree with Diz. So, oh wait, hold on. Marimba, vibraphone, bell pad. What is that? What is that? Okay. I'm putting too much time into this, guys. Tomorrow is another. I mean, I'm calling it a Plunderphonics stream. It's really a production stream. I'm going to open it with Plunderphonics, and we might explore some other genres. I mean, I'll take suggestions too, within reason, you know, of what people want to hear, what people want to see broken down, any questions that anybody has on production. I always like asking questions. I mean, I always like answering questions when they have to do with production or some type of tip I can give to somebody. I feel like a lot of people... I feel like a lot of people have like really cool production questions, and it's fun for me to kind of dig into those. But a lot of people tend to ask them Monday through Thursday, I guess just because, you know, that's how probability works. Like if somebody comes into the stream, chances are they'll be in a Monday through Thursday stream and not always fall on a Friday stream. But I urge you guys, if you have any advice that you need, or tips, or tutorials, or learning things, like at the end of the day, I'm learning just like you guys all are. So there's some things I just don't know how to do for sure. But if there's something you've heard in one of my songs that you want to know how to do, or something you think that I know how to do that you would like for me to impart to you, I'm more than willing to do it. Whoa. Oh. It doesn't matter, Cyber. It legit doesn't matter. Say whatever you want. As long as it's not vulgar, I'll put it in a song. Erwin says, how do you practice music? Very, very open and vague question. Very open, very vague. Um, since we don't have an hour for me to answer that question, I am going to need a little bit of a, like, let's narrow it down a little bit. How do I practice music production? How do I practice music performance? How do I practice music composition? How do I practice mixing? Like, what's a can we get like a modifier on that question? I feel like singing lyrics to a Bomani game. Is there a Bomani song of yours that you're really fond of? I do like Murmur Twins. I don't know the lyrics to that. Do they ever say Murmur Twins in that entire song? Do they ever say any English words? Who's they? I actually don't know who sings on that song. Wait, but Erwin. Yeah, what specifically? The entire song is in English. To be honest, it's a combination of it all, I guess. Music composition and performance. Says Erwin. Erwin, the only thing you watch, assuming you're in the streams most of the time, you see most of what I do. I don't touch this keyboard before I start the stream in the morning. A lot of times, this keyboard's not even on when I approach it. You know, I don't sit in this chair. So the first things I do, Erwin, I would say almost every day, 4 days a week, is I noodle around on the keyboard. I'll play songs that I know that I've already had, you know, and I'll work on creating new songs. And in the meantime, I'll just kind of like mess around with weird chords. I don't know if you were in when I was struggling my way with. That was because I was playing this chord progression. I was playing that and I wanted to play it not on all the white keys, so I moved it up here. And I'm struggling with it, but just mess around and waste time. Now, I agree, or I should say, Erwin, that the stream has helped a lot for this. It's a lot easier for me to sit down when I feel an obligation to. When I feel an obligation to be here for 2 hours every day, it would be very boring if I just played the same 30 songs and then ended every single day. So I do kind of mess around and we'll spend at least 15 to 30 minutes like just trying to find new chords, and usually I'll try to engage people in conversation so it's not just this boring, noisy doodle hour. But that's one way that I practice all of those things kind of rolled into one. Composition, you know, because I'm making songs in the stream, and also performance because I'm literally every weekday I'm touching a keyboard to some extent. Those things will get internalized, just like walking, writing, playing video games. A lot of times, I always have this like this kind of funny this funny internal this funny internal reaction when somebody is playing a console that they don't normally play. Erwin, when somebody is holding a PlayStation, I had my friend come over recently and they were playing PlayStation, and they normally have a Switch. They don't even own a PlayStation. So the thing on the screen said to press R2, and they did have to like up into the controller and go like, oh, R2. Like they had to upend it. If you've been playing video games for a really long time, especially PlayStation, whose controller really hasn't changed much in the past 20, 30 years, you just internalize a lot of that stuff. And I'm not saying I know the names of these notes, but it's just they've become physically closer to me. Like I've internalized a lot of the physical build of a keyboard just from spending a lot of time on it, which you, I know, are also familiar with because you are also a musician. But practicing music is a weird thing, Erwin, because I think what a lot of people think of when they think of practicing piano, or I practice skateboarding, or I practice singing, what they think about is they think about practice tools, right? You think about running scales if you practice piano, right? You think about warm ups, you think about finger exercises. If you think about, oh, this person is going to practice singing, they're doing all kinds of vocal warm ups and vocal exercises. This person practices acting. They'll do maybe improv or something like that, right? They do all kinds of things. They run through the emotions, you know. I think a lot of people think of practicing this way because practice has been kind of, hello, Ava, and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. People think about it that way because we have married practice to academia, right? Practice, learning, academy, school, education. We think of it in that way. And so we think of practice as being kind of this more rigid set of like things you can do. Think about working out. You know, working out is just like a physical practice for your body. You can work out by having a job as a postal service person, you know, where you're having to lift boxes and you're walking, you're on your legs all day, you're driving, you're getting up, you're turning. There's a lot of like core workout stuff. There's a lot of lower and upper body workout stuff. You can have that, or you can work out your body by simply going to the gym and emulating having to do physical labor by just lifting up a bunch of arbitrary pieces of metal. Neither way is superior to the other, but they are different ways to get to the same result, which is having, I don't know, a fit physique or a fit body or being healthy or well exercised. So think about music the same way. I'm not exactly waking up in the morning and running through scales because I don't really know what scales are. I don't know how to run through them. I don't go over to uh, my FL Studio when I'm composing and producing stuff, or when I don't sit there cutting out very specific frequencies. I still, to this day, when like a mixing engineer or a very well established and educated and successful producer comes to me and says, oh, you need to cut that at 50 hertz or something like that. I personally don't know what 50 hertz means. I might open up an EQ and see where 50 hertz is and go like, oh, there it is. And then I put it down, but I just do things by my ear, right? So I'm not thinking about numbers and stuff like that, but I can listen to a bass and hear when it's too like boomy and then cut and boost, you know, wherever I need to in order to fix that. So I think that when you're saying how do you practice music, I'm saying I make music a lot. And making music is a pretty efficient way to practice music. It's not going to hit the same way that more academic, education backed, like rigid practice will, you know, recommended practice exercises. There's books on exercises, right? And there's so many ways to practice something. But my approach as somebody that taught themselves, I learned how to play piano, Erwin, by playing the piano, which sounds weird and maybe like paradoxical, but no, I learned how to play piano by playing the piano. And by playing piano, I learned how to play the piano. I'm learning more chords by playing chords. And I'm playing more chords because I'm learning chords. It's kind of like they're all rolled up into one thing. Getting better at walking, you can just walk. You can do like walking practice exercises for sure, but if you just keep doing something, you're going to improve at it. And so I would say my personal form of practice is simply the activity. How do I practice music? I don't actively. I just make music a lot. And that is my practice, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Erwin? Does that make sense? Some would argue that making music is an act of practice. I would argue that. I am some. Some is me. Yeah. Something that's always really interesting to me, Erwin, is how the two always meet. Like an autodidact, me, and somebody like Lewis Cole, or I gotta stop saying Lewis Cole's name in the stream. Who's another very educated musician? Maxo, Divio. Who's another one? Chuck Sutton. Who's another one? I guess Guppy. He goes to Berkeley, right? If you go to a very, very accomplished, like, oh, I have a a bachelor's in music composition and you ask them about something as simple as a fugue. You know what a fugue is. If you don't know what a fugue is, don't worry, this analogy doesn't really matter. A fugue is like a musical tool. It's like a musical, I'm trying to avoid the word trick, but it's a musical tool. It's a musical thing, a practice. People can make a fugue. It is a piece of music. It's a type of music. And if you're going to music school, especially if you're going to something like Berklee, you're probably going to run into fugue. You're probably going to have to, at some point in a class, write a fugue, or listen to a fugue, or familiarize yourself with the practice and procedures that go into creating a fugue. Now, does that mean when you graduate from that school, you're going to create fugues? Probably not. Maybe you join an indie rock band. Maybe you join a jazz band. Maybe you become a classical conductor. Maybe you become a music teacher at a high school. You can be anything. Maybe you're like Eric Andre and you graduate and you literally don't make any music. You just become a comedian. I think that still Eric Andre knows what a fugue is because he went to a school that taught music and all of its intricacies, especially classical and jazz adjacent stuff. Now, you look at somebody that's more of an autodidact, there's a lot of things that I know very, very well in music, but only because they service to me in the end. I don't have a lot of skill in music that doesn't service me particularly. For example, I don't know how to read music, Erwin, because it never comes up. There's never really a time in my music career where I've ever had to read music. So I just didn't bother learning it. But there are other things that are way more niche, right? Like being able to cut transients on kicks is a thing that I'm very, very adept at. While that is something that they probably don't teach in Berklee, but it's something that's very, very important to me personally, so I've gotten very good at it. When someone is an autodidact, typically their learning pattern is functional. They learn things that they need to know to get the thing that they need to do. In the same way that you could go to a grocery store and you'll go off your shopping list and you'll buy things for dinner tonight. You're not buying flour because every house should have flour. You're not buying sugar because we're out of sugar. You're buying whatever is on the recipe for dinner tonight. You're buying the sun-dried tomatoes, and you're buying the oregano, and you're buying the pasta, and you're buying the peppers. I think I'm gonna make pasta tonight. But anyways, you're getting stuff off the list. I have approached music as a shopping list. I've only learned stuff that I need to know in the moment. Whereas somebody that is taught from, a school is probably learning a lot of stuff that could come in handy and will definitely inform and service their own musical choices, but maybe not necessarily is like engineered to whatever their artistic vision or goals are. That is the big difference. And I don't think that either one is better. I'm just saying that I am the shopping list person. And so, since I am the shopping list person, there's so many things that I don't know how to do just because they haven't come up. It's never come up. It's kind of like, I don't know how much I weigh. I don't know how tall I am either, just because it doesn't really come up. It's not really a piece of information that I ever use. So, yeah. If you just do things, you will get better at the thing. That's a form of practice. Is Divio still active? I haven't heard much of his songs in a while. Divio is still active. Divio did a couple of mixes a while ago for like some online shows. Divio is working on an album. Has been working on an album for a very long time, much longer than I have been inactive. But Divio's still around. He's chilling, enjoying life. As much as anyone can in 2020, right? I haven't seen Divio personally in a while, but I talked to them a year ago, 2019, 2018, something. Time sure does fly. But yeah, Divio's great. That's how they do it in Italy, says. But, the term practice implies you never become a full master, and indeed anything you create or perform is all practice, baby. This is true. I agree with this sentiment, Cyber. Erwin says, how do you guys meet? How did me and Divio meet? How does anybody on SoundCloud meet? We were just both musicians that were like indie pop. I don't know what you want to call that type of music. We were just making pop-y, fun internet music. And so I met them because there's not that many musicians like us. At the time, it was like me, Divio, Maxo, Absurdist, maybe like 8 other people that I can name. There's only a few people that were like putting out a lot of music that sounded like that. So we kind of just got grouped together a bunch. I've ended up playing quite a few shows with Divio, and Divio would like come over to my house every. Well, he only did it like twice, but Divio in that era would like come over. We'd hang out. We'd like eat and stuff like that. So that's how I don't remember the exact day that I met Divio, but I'm pretty sure it was in 2015. Pretty sure it was in 2015, and we were just like-minded musicians. If you ask me, pretty much from anybody that was like decently active on SoundCloud in 2015 through 2017, like chances are I met them at some point. It also helps, Erwin, I'm gonna say that I live in LA and Divio lives in New York, so like two pretty major cities. So that's where a lot of the shows are happening. So of course you just kind of end up meeting everybody. Now, if I lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or if I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or something like that, or Twin Falls, Idaho, probably not gonna see that many people. But I think because of my geographical placement, because of his geographical placement, you just run into kind of everybody. Goodness gracious, Diz. Diz, do you know how tall you are? I'm gonna say this one more anecdote, since we're kind of on the topic somewhat of music theory, and then I'll leave it alone. Erwin. I had a very funny. I mean, I've talked about my interactions with Greg, the infamous rave showrunner who also knew a lot of music theory, but I have this very, very distinct memory of sitting at this keyboard, this very keyboard, and talking to a friend who actually did make music. It was interesting. They knew a lot of music theory, and they were like, just because they went to a music school, but then they ended up leaving and pursuing animation instead. And now they have, pretty good job in animation. They do work for Nickelodeon, so congrats to them. Anyways, backpedaling a little bit. So I remember them sitting in my room. They were sitting on my bed, right where my phone is facing me, and I was playing stuff. They were like, "Oh wow, I don't understand how you don't know music theory. You just did a blank 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 or a blank blank blah or yada yada you or a hita hita hoo ha." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just like messing around, just playing stuff that sounds good to me." And I was like, "You can." Just look at somebody play notes and then figure out what the chord is, and they were like, yeah, and I was like, oh, and so like it was this fun game where I was just like hitting a chord like, what is this, and they'd be like, that's blah blah blah, that's an E major 7, and I'd hit another one there like, that's an F minor 6 or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's cool, this is so cool, wow, amazing. And I was familiar, Erwin, with like major, minor. When somebody said C major, I was like, I know that that's a music thing. When somebody said like B minor 7, I was like, yeah, there's always a number 7 for some reason. And then so I started playing my songs. I started playing some of my songs, and I was like, what's this? What's this? What is this chord? What is this chord? And they were like, all right, slow down, and I started playing it slower. And it was like all of the. This was the early part of me being discouraged, like intrigued and simultaneously discouraged by music theory. They started telling me what the chords were, and none of the chords sounded good to me. Like, when spoken aloud, it was like, oh, that's a, F major 7, flat 5, and I was like, ew. And I would play another one, and they're like, oh, that's this diminished, you have an augmented 5, wait, play that again? Oh yeah, that's an augmented 5, and then you're playing a C in the bass, and I'm like, these sound horrible. I was just hoping to play one of my songs and he would go, oh, A major, B minor, C major, F major 7. Like, I was hoping that they were going to be very, like, simple chord names. And when I was hearing him call out the chords that I was playing, I was like, there's no way a chord that's so easy and simple to play. It could have a complicated name like a B major 7 flat 5. Ew, it sounds disgusting. B major 7, add 9 with a sharp 11. I'm like, why are you talking? A sharp 11? The numbers go up that high? He was just saying a lot of stuff, and I remember being simultaneously intrigued, but also like, yo, this is complicating my music. This is making my music way more complicated than it needs to be. Um, and it didn't make me want to get into music theory. I have since kind of flip flopped on that. I've done a lot of 180, 180, 180, 360, 720, 900. I've done a lot of like, oh no, I should learn a little bit of music theory, then jumping out, then jumping back in. And so I do know a little bit. It's just that it never gets internalized for very long. Cyber says, fun fact, Murmur Twins was originally going to be called Pudding a la Mode. That's said in the lyrics for sure. Oh. Interesting. I'm sorry, Ghibli. I'm sorry, Ghibli. They just don't roll off the tongue. They don't roll off the tongue. F major 7, add 9, sharp 11. Like, that does not roll off the tongue. That sounds disgusting. It doesn't sound cool. Listen to this. Listen to this. Freaking C augmented sharp 9, flat 13. What on earth? And that's just one chord. That sounds like a whole song. That sounds like a chord progression. That should be what a chord progression is called. If somebody says, oh, what is this song's chord progression? You should be able to say, it's a C augmented sharp 9, flat 13. And that should be the intro, verse, chorus, bridge, last chorus, outro. That should be the entire thing. That shouldn't just be one chord. Oh my god. That sounds like a model of a computer says or a type of car engine. Yeah, all respect to music theory and all the things that it does. But yeah, I remember just watching them do that while I was playing and thinking to myself, oh my god. You know what it reminded me of? You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when somebody's like, what's your, like, remember when there was like it wasn't a meme, it was just like a trend that was going around with like visual artists when they were like, what color makes you feel happy? And everybody was responding with like the code, I don't know. I'm saying code, I don't know enough about drawing to know what those are called, but it's like the colors like name where it's like F634 539, like something like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Please know what I'm talking about. It was like they were responding with like the names of colors. Yeah, the hexadecimal value. And I was like, oh, am I supposed to know what that is? And there was people, I kid you not, there was nobody was replying with JPEGs of actual colors. They were just replying with the names of people were like, oh, I love that one. So warm. I usually mix that in with my add another hexadecimal value. I was like, ew. These people are robots. These people are, that's what like sometimes saying like chord names out loud sounds like to me. It sounds like hexadecimal values instead of an actual color. Like there are people in this world that if you said what Erwin said, C augmented sharp 9, flat 11, flat 13, sorry. There's some people that would hear it. Some people would go like, ooh, yeah, I love that chord. That's a spicy chord. I don't know what the heck that means. F sharp diminished 7 augmented V 2.0 with the side of onions. Heck yes, soothsayer. Soothsayers always quiet until they don't need to be anymore. They would start vibing. Okay, guys. We're over the 2-hour mark. We're over the 2-hour mark. I have to go over some news. I have some pieces of music out, some albums, if you will. One's called Signals. It's like more of a bebop jazz one. One's called House of Omni. It's like a collaborative EP. Another one is called Tall Tales. It's very experimental. I have one to follow that up with a lot of the Dream series. Dream series starts off with Nice Dream, which is kind of an indie pop. Love Dream, which is a love song EP. Speed Dream, which is a short story of music that I scored about a street racing gang in a fictional town that I made up. Daydream is more orchestral break beats and drum and bass. Lush Dream is kind of chill, low energy, lounge beats, and there's a lot of it. It's kind of made for people to play in the background while they do other stuff. And then the last two is Quick Breath and Ego Death. Quick Breath is more of like a poppy house thing, and Ego Death is more of an ambient chill thing, but not chill in the same way as Lush Dream. Think less beats, more reverb. If that makes sense. And those can be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube, which we are on right now. I just have to read this. I have to read this because it's gonna make me smile. Hmm. Chord progressions go like it's a 2-5-1 going to a D major flat 9 and then resolute to a diminished. 2-5-1 going to a D major flat 9, D major flat 9, and then resolute to a diminished. Ugh. Heaven help me. But I mean, at least it's saying something. If somebody told me to tell them what I do in love letters, Irwin and Company, I can't even play love letters slow. That's how little I know what I'm doing. When it gets to this part, the like. I'm just thinking in hand shapes at that point. Just hand shapes. If I have to play it slow. I don't know what any of those are, but if somebody described all the chords, I'm sure it would sound hideous. Sounds very chromatic-y, says Erwin. Chromatism. Chromatism. After reading, the only thing that diminished is my attention span, says Diz. Amen to that, Diz. Amen to that. Music is basically math, and I'm not a mathematician. I'm actually really good at math. I'm actually really good at math. I just hate it. I don't like it. Math is trash. But music is math. On this we agree. Are colors math? Yes. Are colors math? We don't have time for that today. We're already 50 minutes over our limit. Guys, please go listen to those songs. As far as news, tomorrow is going to be another production stream, and since I do have the LAN cable now, it probably will not be choppy, guys. We're finally having smooth production streams. The stream will start at 9 a.m., and it is going to go 6 hours until 3 p.m. I'm going to be making something called Plunder Phonics, which if you were in the last Friday production stream, you will be familiar with. If you weren't, then you're in for a treat to do... Crap, it's like... Crap. I have to remember this chord progression. Gotta remember that. For tomorrow's stream. But if you're in tomorrow's stream, I'm going to go ahead and thank you in advance because I know those things, they tend to run long. I tend to get hungry in them. So we'll see you tomorrow for that, guys. This is going to be a Balemba version of Hush Hour. You know what this sounds like? Does anybody ever watch that show, How It's Made? This reminds me of like when they're showing the conveyor belt of like Tootsie Rolls or whatever, with all the machines like eating them and shaping them. Anyways. I made this song in Hong Kong. It's Made always has some great music. Not gonna lie, says Soothsayer. I agree. You and I agree on this. This sounds pretty. This sounds pretty to be how it's made. Aww. Ooh, this sounds too pretty to be how it's made. I like this, Jeff Lee. Thank you. High compliments from Jeff Lee. Sound like conveyor belt to me. I guess you want MP3, says Cyber. MP3 wave, doesn't matter. I love this sound. We're recording this, guys. I'm recording? Oh my god. Oh, tomorrow's stream's gonna be good. Mark my words. Anywho, thank you so much, everybody, for being respectful to me and polite to each other. You guys really did it. Also, thank you for loading the stream up with likes. I do eat those. So I appreciate it more than you guys know. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Please eat, work, love, sleep, whatever it is that you brings you joy. And be here tomorrow for my Friday production stream. Should be good. Should be good. Also, just a last reminder, if you, like Cyber right now is recording a vocal bit to send to me to include in the Plunder Phonics stream, I don't know how realistic this will be going forward, right? Like when I'm making like more like funk tracks or house tracks, I don't think I'm going to be asking for samples. Right now, if you want to send samples or send any type of like sound idea, now is the best time to send it because Plunder Phonics literally is that. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for Morning Medley number 235. Until then, please enjoy the rest of your evening. And if I don't see you for tomorrow's stream, enjoy your weekend. Abba. Oh, the Pauly Shore one? Jesse, send me the... Are you talking about the Tower of Cheesa? Yeah, drop it on Discord. Tower of Cheesa. That's a good Pauly Shore line. I always think about that when I think of him.